So here Alexa for Urban News, and I'm currently at Pointe-Claire, Montreal, and tonight a conference about globalism will happen. The three members of the conference will be Maxime Bernier, the leader of the People's Party of Canada, as well as Andrié Pouliot, that is actually the creator of the Conservative Party of Quebec, as well as Julie Lévesque, independent journalism. They are here to debate on the subject, and I'm curious to know what will happen tonight. And afterwards, we will take the time to ask them a couple of questions of the current situation here in Canada.
L'idée de mondialisme par les élites de Davos ou de l'ONU est de plus en plus imposant et ils ne se gênent pas pour dire que leur vision, c'est la vision d'un gouvernement mondial qui va dicter au gouvernement, aux États-nations quoi faire.
I believe that it's important for Canadians to know the big difference between globalization and globalism. And, you know, I'm not a globalist, and we must fight that. Globalism is a philosophy, and it's a philosophy of a world government. And, you know, we believe in Canada, we believe in our sovereignty as a country. We don't want to receive any orders coming from the UN or another international organizations like the World Economic Forum. So it was important to have a debate here about that. And I'm very pleased because we had a debate, and I know that a lot of people understand that globalization, more free trade, it's good. It created prosperity in our country. But globalism, it's a bad philosophy. We believe in the sovereignty of the individual and sovereignty of our country. So we had a good debate today, and I believe that people agreed with us about the fact that protecting and working for Canadian first and putting our country first must be the priority of a Canadian government, but that's not the case today.
Tonight you talk really openly about the fact that you went to Davos, you took part of this big organization in the past. At that time, when you went there, have you seen the WEF as a threat already?
Yeah, so I just want to be sure that people understand that I was there. I was in Davos in 2008, and my role at that time, I was Foreign Affairs Minister. And people must understand that in 2008, we were in war in Afghanistan. And my role was to have meetings with my counterparts, other foreign affairs ministers, to ask them to help us in Afghanistan. So I decided to go to Davos because that was a big opportunity for me to see all these foreign affairs ministers at the same time in 2 days and having these meetings. So it was very efficient. So I did not assist at the World Economic Conference. I was there to have meeting with my counterparts and asking them to give us more resources in Afghanistan. And after these 2 days, I left. So I know that organization. That's an organization that is promoting a new world order that I don't agree with. And the fact that I was in Davos, it's not because I believe in their philosophy. It's because it was my job to be there, to meet other people, to help our country as a sovereign country. I was the first politician at the debate in 2019 on the stage against these traditional establishment leaders to call it and to say, you know, we must protect our sovereignty as a country, and we must say no to the UN, that is a dysfunctional organization, no to the World Economic Forum, and doing things in Canada in line with our values. And that's why the PPC, we created the PPC, and that's part of our platform. Promote Canadian values and working for Canadian first and not for international organizations.
What we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
On donne beaucoup d'importance à Davos. Finalement, c'est un petit vieux, là, Schwab, là, qui a 82 ans, qui a parti ce patente-là il y a un bout de temps. Puis finalement, c'est un gros party qui coûte bien cher, ça coûte 25 000 $, puis tu peux schmouser avec des gens riches et célèbres. Mais je pense pas, contrairement à ce qu'on a pu lire ailleurs, que Schwab a réussi à infiltrer le gouvernement canadien, le cabinet de Maxime Bernier ou de Andrew Scheer ou de Pierre Poilievre. Moi, je pense pas vraiment que ça soit le cas. C'est sûr que c'est un peu préoccupant parce que, entre autres, quand notre professeur de théâtre national est allé répéter les mots utilisés par Schwab de le grand reset, et ben là, c'est un peu... Mais honnêtement, moi, je donne pas beaucoup de crédit à Trudeau. Là. Je pense que tout ce qu'il a fait, c'est répéter ces mots-là pour être certain que Schwab le réinviterait l'année prochaine. Alors donc, pour Davos, disons que je suis un peu sceptique.
Canada believes that a strong, coordinated response across the world and across sectors is essential. This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset.
What do you think about the fact that we see a polarization of the opinion about, example, the World Economic Forum, when Jean Charest said that it's not a threat for the sovereignty of Canada, when we saw the other side of Pierre Poilievre and you yourself saying, yes, it is, why we saw a big polarization on this organization?
Because we have people that believe that it will be better for Canada to be part of these organizations and maybe later to be part of a supranational government. And I don't believe in that. Actually, I'll give you the example of the economic union in Europe. You know, they started by only a free trade agreement between these countries in Europe, and now they have a government in Brussels that is telling other countries what to do. That's why you had Brexit, and the people in London, in England, they said enough is enough. We want to keep our sovereignty. That's why they said no to the European community, and they're saying yes to their country.
Well, I thought I was really happy to be invited here because I'm a former leftist. I guess I could say it that way. And you would have told me 2 years ago that I would have been on a panel with the guy from the Economic Institute of Montreal and Maxime Bernier. I would have said, hey, go take your pills. But interestingly, I feel closer to these people today than to, for example, leftist parties such as the NDP or Québec Solidaire in Quebec. I find that there really is a shift, a political shift. And there was a huge, I think, for me, the leftist parties have been hijacked. And oddly enough, I think they've been hijacked by the people that they used to fight against. You know, they've been defending the narrative of the oligarchs for the past 2 years.
You see what is happening with the mainstream media, the legacy media. You study in journalism. Is it what you did study on your courses to do what they are doing, to follow one narrative?
Oh, I think that right now in Canada we don't have any journalism anymore. It's totally it's propaganda. Because if you look at the core values of journalism, what are they? You're supposed to have two sides of a story, at least two. You're supposed to respect people, respect ideas that you're not familiar with. You're not supposed to have any prejudices. None of the core values of journalism have been respected for the past 2 years. Like, none of them. Especially in Quebec, I would say. Like, all the media are saying the exact same thing. There's no room for debate. And, you know, they've been calling people names for 2 years. And they've canceled people, totally canceled people.
And you live in China. So
yeah.
what did you observe in China that you say that you saw a dictatorship that is not visible there?
Well, actually, what's interesting is that I was there. I was in China at the beginning of the pandemic. So, and I was there in from 2015 until August of 2020, and I lived in Shanghai. And what I saw in Shanghai, what I experienced was like nothing close to what I experienced in Quebec. We had to wear masks for 2 months, roughly, but there was no social distancing. You know, the Purell at like in every store, like at the entrance of every store. I haven't seen that there. Plexiglass in like everywhere. I haven't seen that in China at all. So when I came back here, I had a shock. I was shocked. You know, the arrows in the grocery stores and everything, and I just could not believe how people were actually brainwashed into thinking that there was really a huge health threat out there, because that's not what I experienced in China. I was much freer in China at the time, at the beginning of the pandemic, than I was here for the past 2 years. Now, it changed recently in Shanghai. You know, it was pretty rough. It was pretty much like what they lived in Wuhan in 2020. But for me, it was a huge shock coming back here. And seeing how, for me, it was since I came back, it's worse here than everything I've seen in China. So, and like I said, you know, people think, oh, a dictatorship, you know, you've got like the military everywhere. But in China, you don't see the dictatorship. You don't see it. It's there, but you don't see it. So when people say that, oh, here in Canada, no, we're not in the dictatorship, I'm sorry. You lose your job because you don't get jabbed. You cannot go to the restaurant because you didn't get jabbed. That never happened in China, by the way.
So as you know, this year is the provincial election a little bit everywhere in Canada. And in Quebec, it's coming up pretty soon. In October 3rd will be the final decision of who will be the next leader of the Quebec province. But if you are interested and if you want to support our coverage for the province of Quebec, go to quebecelection.ca. You can see all our coverage, and as well you can contribute to our journalism. Thank you.